Another set of priority CoS slots obtained. Today we got one approval. On Monday also we got two of them. I'll show the screenshots and then I will share some information about sponsor licensing and the issues around salaries. I've seen refusals where clients have booked consultations and they applied for sponsor license, send their last 6 months of bank statements, which is really not required. You don't have to provide 6 months bank statements when you apply for a sponsor license. Home Office has done an averaging and finally said, oh, the funds or your turnover is not sufficient to meet the salary requirement, either 33,400 for a new entrant or 41,700, whatever they are trying to ask for. So this is something that I'm going to discuss today. So first I will put the first approval from today. So today we got one approval, Wednesday today, 12th of August, 10:03 a.m. I'll put it on the screen and I will discuss this point. So yeah, I've reviewed several sponsor license refusals or even CoS refusals for that matter, where the employer has applied and they have provided 6 months of bank statements to show financial standing, that you have enough funds to at least finance, support the salaries of the workers that you intend to sponsor. And home office case workers usually do, they use the paragraph L 8.10, L 8.810, 8.10 of the guidance for sponsors, where employers are required to have enough funds, sufficient funds to sponsor a migrant worker. And this is the usual question that I always get asked during consultations whenever employers are applying for sponsor licenses, CoS allocations, etc. How much funds are really required? So from these refusals, we are able to derive basically some knowledge or information as to how Home Office assesses this. So one refusal that I saw about sponsor license was they looked at last 6 months of bank statements. I think it was 6 to 7 months, Jan to July, and they did the total opening balance, they looked at the closing balance, they did the total of the incomings over the 6 months and the outgoings. So they said opening balance whatever 20,000, all incomes of whatever 400,000, all the outgoings of something around 400 something odd thousand, and then this is the closing balance. So they saw the differential, they got to a number that this is the net income considering the opening, closing, and all the incomes in entries, the debits and the credits in accounting terms. Okay, and they took a total sum of something like, which was I think about 12 or 15,000, and they divided it by last 6 months, six. So they said, okay, you only have a net surplus of about 2,000 odd pounds, 2,018 pounds or something, and your salary requirements are 5,000 pounds for these two migrants that you want to sponsor. Obviously, you don't have enough money, hence we are refusing this sponsor license application. And the same things also continues on whether it's a CoS application. So I will put the second screenshot now for the approval of the priority slot for a CoS allocation we got on Monday. Yeah, I was out of office yesterday as well. So on Monday at 7:48 a.m. So I'll put the second screenshot, 10th of August, 7:48 a.m. I'll continue with my discussion. The balance in the bank, how much is really enough or sufficient balance? So from these types of refusals, what we see, another refusal I had reviewed, I'll get into that as well. One of the ways to look at it would be look at your average earnings over a period of time. Maybe 6 months or a year would be a reasonable time. I know employers or people always ask me, can we just put some funds now? It doesn't work like that. Putting funds in those accounts is not going to help. Rather, it would lead to a refusal saying unknown source of funds done specifically for the purpose of this thing, sponsor license or CoS. It is always better to see an overall performance, minimum 6 months or maybe a year. If you have a genuine trading business, whatever you are doing, and show the incomes across and make sure that there is sufficient funds in the accounts to account for the salaries. An example would be, let's say your salary is 36,000, you want to sponsor a migrant, I'm just taking an example, 3,000 per month. Also account for other fees, immigration skills charge, which is 480 per year of visa. You cannot transfer it to the migrant, it has to come from the employer. And also the certificate of sponsorship fees of 525. So those are the miscellaneous amounts also. Make sure you account for those as well. So let's say 3,000 odd or 500, 3,500 odd that you need per month. Your average net in the bank across the board, maybe a year or 6 months, has to be having a surplus of that much to pay the salaries. So this is just an estimate I'm giving, looking at these refusals. Another refusal which I had also reviewed, yeah, if you want me to review any refusals or if you're filing applications, we do everything. We advise, we do full representation, we do documents review, whether for sponsor license or CoS or anything else. You can book the consultations. The links will be in the description or wherever you are watching me. Okay, so the second type of refusal, so that I have seen is where the sponsor has filed a sponsor license application about 6 months back, and then they get a cooling off period. So once the application, the substantive application is considered properly, and let's say they say, oh, the money is not enough, we are refusing. In that case, they would ban you, not kind of a ban, but you are stopped from making a sponsor license application for the next 6 months. So in this case, the first one which I said, oh, you just have £2,000. How can you sponsor a worker, two workers, and you are going to pay 5,000 salaries per month? We don't believe, yeah, you have enough funds. And once that refusal comes on that point, they have a 6 month ban from applying. If they apply again, it will be refused without even looking at the merits of the case. So you will get a 6 month ban. So another case which I've, I've reviewed several of them. This is another example where the sponsor had already applied, that was refused on similar grounds, saying you don't have enough money, and then they again waited for 6 months. After that, they applied again. I'll share the third screenshot. So 3 priority slots in the last 2 days, maybe I can say yesterday, nothing, we didn't send any. On Monday, the second approval that came was Monday 10th of August, 9:39 a.m. I'll put that screenshot now. So anyone wants to investigate these are real or not, just look at them. So about the priority slots, I'll just give a brief. I'll put the links in the description. You just fill up the form, give the basic details, and we can obtain the priority slot for any type of change of circumstances which are eligible under the priority slot service. The main one that we are applying, that clients are asking for, is for CoS allocations. The standard processing time for CoS allocations is about 18 weeks, 16 to 18 weeks, almost 4.5 months, just for home office to pick it up. But with the priority slot, it can be prioritized, and within 5 working days, they will pick it up. They will make a decision. We've also got approvals. I know clients told me today, also someone told me we got the slot, they got the approval within 2 days. And so 90% of the times, home office will not approve it. They will send you a list of information and document that you will ask for, but at least that is expedited. So rather than getting that list or information request after 4.5 months, you get it usually within 5 working days or so. So at least you can start working, send them, and try to get the CoS sorted. And many times clients also get it. So it's about 20% of the times clients will get it, the CoS, just with the priority slot, and 80% home office will come back with some information request. I'll put the link for that, the types of documents and the information required, also in the link below. I put the second slot. Okay, so these are 3 slots, 3 priority slots that we got, one today, 2 on Monday. Now continuing with the discussion of the sponsor license refusal. So another case where it was refused before, they applied after 6 months, and their volumes had reduced. So looking at the previous refusal, home office had that. They looked at this one saying, oh, now this time the volumes has gone down, hence your income has reduced considerably. We see that, and now also you cannot afford it. And so these are the common scenarios. I just wanted to put it across. Every case is different. There is no specific number or amount. It is a very case by case situation. Depending on the industry, the type of work, the job code, the number of employees, whatever that is. The funding may not be from the business, it may be from whatever, maybe a startup, there may be funding rounds going on, or anything and anything, everything that can be covered. But every business is specific, business case specific. Home office will look at that. But whenever you're filing sponsor license applications or showing them 6 months of bank statements, make sure, whether even for a CoS allocation, make sure you explain any undue things, any things that are irregular. Like in the first case, the client did say they were buying out some stock or something from the another company. Hence, they had some payments going for 4 months period out of those 6 months. Hence, their balance sheet, the bank balance was going low. So that explanation was not sent. Home office didn't know about it. So if there is anything uneven happening in the business, make sure you point it out, give any evidence, explanation, anything that you can, along with the bank statements. Don't just assume that just by giving the bank statements, they will approve the sponsor license or the cost allocation. So that is something I wanted to cover. And if you do require priority slots, I will put the link in the description. Fill it up. It's a no win, no fee. And only once we obtain the slot, then you pay our fees of 299. And after that, you will be liable to pay the home office fees of £350. With that, you will get your priority cost allocation or any change of circumstances like address change, level 1 user added, authorizing officer change. There are several of them which can be done under the priority slot area, and within 5 working days it can be sorted. So thank you very much for watching.